उसने सोचा कि ये उसके 70,000 थॉट्स में से एक आया हुआ कि भाई ये get destroyed, and then that actually happened. Hey, hi everyone. My name is Faiz and she is Priya. So this is the final episode on the 10-part series that we are doing, which is called Perspective. So what we thought was that there's a lot of literature on spirituality, but that literature can get complicated and it's difficult to interpret that literature in the context of today's world. So what we have done in the past 9 episodes is that we have read a lot of philosophers, a lot of different types of philosophy, and tried to figure that out and take the relevant part from those literatures and break it down so that it's easier for everybody to understand. And this is the final episode of that 10-part series that we're doing. So hope that you enjoy it, and I will let Priya introduce what we're going to read today, because she's the one who's going to be leading
it. Okay, so today's topic is the voice inside your head. So I'm sure everybody has it, and most of people have it, I think.
Everybody has it. It's an evolutionary thing that we have gotten. There is a voice that inside all of our heads, and what is technically called as, it's technically called as inner voice, as psychologists describe it. And the definition of it is that when you hear any conversation in your head without actual auditory input on your ear, that's called as inner voice. And the reason it exists is because it, as an organism, as an individual, you need to survive. Okay, so it's for that survival, so that you can reason out. Basically, that's part of your brain. It's a function of your mind, you can say.
And I think the author of this book that we are going to read today is also going to tell us 2 more reasons why this exists and how inner voice helps. I think after, so I've read this chapter already, and some of the things that you can also look for is to understand this inner voice, this inner dialogue that keeps on going on inside our head. And it also helps you visualize it so that it's easier to keep listening to it, and it tells you, or it makes you aware, this chapter makes you aware of what effect that particular inner voice has in your day-to-day life, and how can you manage this voice. So I think that is this chapter, this book.
But let's take a step back. Let's share. Why don't you share? What were you curious about for reading this book? Which part of, why did you read this book in the first place? What are the questions that you were looking for?
So okay, so I think in our last chapters, if you have listened to it, and if you have not, you should go and listen to them. But in the last chapters and in a lot of books that I've read, everybody is talking about soul, and there's someone watching, you should watch yourself. A lot of books have told us that you should meditate. And of course, I've experienced the advantages or the effects of meditation, but I wanted to also experience this concept called soul, or who's watching, basically, right? So the title of this book is The Untethered Soul, and that is what attracted me towards this book. That untethering is basically
breaking away from a rope.
Yeah, so you're basically unwinding or coming out of a rope thing. So basically, it's taking up, the soul is getting free, right? So I like that. That is what attracted me, and it also talks about that, and it talks about a lot of other concepts. It starts with inner voice, but the good thing about this book was it helps you visualize things, and it gives you very experiential thing. Like it will ask you to experience that right while you're reading this book. So that is what I liked about this book. कि usually क्या होता है कि दूसरे books में थोड़े से कभी कभी वैसा हो जाता है कि वो थोड़े ज्यादा फिलोसॉफिकल हो जाते हैं इन द सेंस कि वहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीजें, जैसे अगर टेक्निकल योगा बुक्स पढ़ो तो वो तो बहुत बहुत टेक्निकल वर्ड्स भी यूज करते हैं, तो कभी कभी उनको ऐसे डिसाइफर करना वो सब करने में थोड़ा ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ थोड़ा मेहनत लग रही है बुक पढ़ने में. इट्स लाइक अ टेक्स्ट बुक रीडिंग कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है, लेकिन इसको मैं पढ़ती चली गई. It's written in a very simple language जो हम रोजमर्रा बेसिस पे बात करते हैं, कुछ जार्गन वार्गन नहीं है इसमें. So that's why I like this book. और चल रही है अभी भी, complete नहीं हुई है, but I really like this chapter, and that's why
Awesome.
I want to read it. Okay, so you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. I think Faiz has not read this book, and he's also reading it for the first time.
Okay, so
raw expressions and feedback will come.
the voice inside your head is the name of the chapter. In case you haven't noticed, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. Yes, so a fact that I've read is that an average human has about 70,000 thoughts a day. So if those thoughts are related to the same theme, then you are having a conversation with yourself. So I think that's what it's referring to. It just keeps going and going. Have you ever wondered why it talks in there? How does it decide what to say and when to say? How much of what it says turns out to be true? Here, it, I think it's referring to like whatever the source of the conversation is, or the source of the thoughts is.
I think right now it's talking about inner voice only.
How much of what it says is even important? If right now you are hearing, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't have any voice inside my head, if that's what you are hearing, that's the voice that we're talking about. If you are smart, you will take the time to step back and examine this voice, which majority of us, like I never did that. I never paid attention to it. If you're smart, you will take the time to step back, examine this voice, and get to know it better. The problem is you are too close to be objective. You are almost immersed in that. You believe that you are that. You have to step way back and watch it converse. While you are driving, you hear internal conversation like, wasn't I supposed to call Fred? I should have. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot. He's going to be mad, and so on and so forth. Notice that the voice takes both sides of the conversation. This is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And that's how I concluded that it's such a foolish voice. Because once upon a point of time, it's asking me to, it's concluded that ये सही रहेगा तेरे लिए, ये कर, ये plan of action कर. And after some time, let's say a few days, weeks or months has gone by, and then I've noticed the complete opposite of what it was saying previously.
कभी-कभी वो उस moment में ही कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट कर रहा होता है कि नहीं मुझे ऐसा ही करना चाहिए, नहीं मुझे ऐसा करना चाहिए, नहीं ऐसा थोड़ा होगा. सो वो वैसे बचपन में शोज में ऐसा दिखाते थे ना कि एक
कार्टून्स में इविल वॉइस और
यहाँ कंधे में बैठा है, यहाँ पे कंधे में बैठा है, एंजल वॉइस एंड डीमन वॉइस. तो उस टाइप का कुछ, बट इट्स नॉट ओनली दोस टू, इट्स लाइक a lot of personalities in that voice.
Can.
लेकिन this is so true.
it doesn't care which side it takes, just as long as it gets to keep talking. When you're tired and trying to sleep, it's the voice inside your head that says, "What am I doing? I can't go to sleep yet. I forgot to call Fred," and so on. Matlab, before sleeping, the first thing after you wake up, this is there. This is present. No wonder you can't sleep. Why do you even tolerate the voice talking to you all the time? Even if what it's saying is soothing and nice, it's still disturbing everything that you're doing, which can be true.
This is so true. मतलब I think ये हम लोग ने पहले भी बात करी इस पे. But like for example, अगर मैं फोटोग्राफी कर रही हूँ, मैं कैंप में कुछ खींच रही हूँ फोटो, ठीक है, और सपोज मुझे कबूतर की फोटो खींचनी है. अब कबूतर तुरंत उड़ जाता है. अब अगर मैं कबूतर की जब फोटो खींच रही हूँ और मेरे दिमाग में ऐसे कॉन्वर्सेशन चल रहा है कि क्या बेवकूफ एनिमल है या क्या कर रहा है ये, तो अगर मैं उसमें ही एंगेज हो जाऊंगी तो वो कबूतर उड़ जाएगा और मैं फोटो नहीं खींच पाऊंगी. So it has basically interfered with what I wanted to do, which is just click a photo. But इतना कुछ चल रहा होता है और अगर मैं उसमें घुस गई तो गया. ऐसे ही वो zoning out और जो daydreaming हम बोलते हैं, that is like totally immersed in that conversation which is going on.
हाँ, मतलब कोई भी एक्टिविटी करते टाइम किसी से बात करते टाइम you can be somewhere else. This is like a common property of the mind that you can be physically in the classroom but then mentally you can be like anywhere.
हाँ, तो वो ये मुझे मतलब इनर वॉइस एग्जिस्ट करते हैं, ठीक है, वो एग्जिस्ट करती है किसी रीजन की वजह से. बट दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल विल अग्री, बट दिस इज द नेगेटिव पार्ट ऑफ इट, कि इट विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू बी लाइक टू डू व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू डू completely.
If you spend time observing the mental voice, the first thing you will notice is that it never shuts up. When left to its own, it just stops. Imagine you were to see someone walking and he constantly think to himself. You think he was strange. You would wonder if he's the one who's talking and he's the one who's listening. He obviously knows what's going on to be said before he says. So what's the point? Yes, this is what I'm talking about. आप बात कर रहे हो किसी से, तो उसकी बात खत्म होने से पहले you have made judgments about the conversation in your head. You have already thought about what you are going to speak. तो ये सब के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. The same is true for the voice inside your head. Why is it talking? It's you who's talking and it's you who's listening. Then, and when the voice argues with itself, who is it arguing with? Who would possibly win? It gets very confusing.
बोलने वाला भी मैं ही हूँ और सुनने वाला भी मैं ही हूँ.
Yeah.
और आगे करने वाला भी मैं ही हूँ.
Just to point out the comedy inside this is that you cannot talk this kind of stuff with a generation older. You cannot talk this kind of stuff with them because बोले इधर पर तो बहुत time है क्या? तो like what are you talking about? But this is this thing, like, okay, now we are talking, so I mean it's great that we're talking, and this thing is like can be problematic because ultimately whatever your body, how you behave starts, the origin of that is a thought, right? Whatever and however you end up behaving, the origin is the thought. So this is a very interesting topic, so I'm glad that we're talking about it. If you watch carefully, you will see that it's just trying to find a comfortable place to rest. It will change sides in a moment if it seems to help. And it doesn't even quiet down when it finds out that it's wrong. It simply adjusts its viewpoint and keeps on going. If you pay attention, these mental patterns will become obvious to you. It's actually a shocking realization when you first notice that your mind is constantly talking. You might even try to yell at it in a feeble attempt to shut it up, but then you realize the voice yelling at the voice.
Mm-hmm.
This is like this is what happens when people go to Vipassana. So in 10 days, in 10 days when you are just with yourself meditating and you have no interruption between, and when you also first start to meditate, right? When you're new to meditation, you sit down for the first time, then you close your eyes and then just see that there's so much of chatter going on. So the inner voice is what is chattering. And I mean, I don't know if it's like blooper or anything, but the ability to tune this voice, like just completely shut it off and just like you to get it whenever you want, because obviously this helps you thinking also, is one of the skills that you develop out of meditation. Obviously you can't shut it up that way. हाँ, उसको बोलने से वो चुप नहीं होता. हाँ. The best way to free yourself from this incessant chatter is to step back and view it objectively. And this is the practice that you are doing while meditating.
Yeah, and I think it's रोजमर्रा के बेसिस पे इट्स डिफिकल्ट. अगर आप मेडिटेट नहीं कर रहे हो तो उस सिचुएशन से ही जूम आउट करना डिफिकल्ट होता है. और नाउ दे आर आस्किंग अस टू focus on this inner voice, the thought chain, the conversation which is going on. And now they are asking us to zoom out from that also. कि तुम बस नोटिस करो ये दो चंगमगो बात करते हुए, एंड यू हैव टू वॉच देम. और जैसे तुमको ये दिखना जैसे ही, और दिस इज ट्रू, लाइक जस्ट ट्राई इट आउट वंस, कि एक बार मतलब ऐसे बैठ के देखो कि ये क्या चल रहा है, एंड देन यू विल बी लाइक ये तो सही बात है. you'll see कि ये बहुत ही रैंडम चीजें, और तुम्हें पता चलेगा कि ये जूम आउट वर्ड में क्यों यूज
करते हैं. But you are always so in the conversation. That's the game. You are always in the conversation. The conversation is always about the things that matter to you.
Yeah.
That matter to you the most probably in this world. That's the conversation. So stepping outside that and then watching it, very difficult.
But you can do it. और वो अभी आगे चल के एक बहुत अच्छा visualization technique बताएंगे. It will help.
Just view the voice as a vocalizing mechanism that is capable of making it appear like someone is in there talking to you. Don't think about it. Just notice it. No matter what the voice is saying, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. If it's saying nice things or mean things, worldly things or spiritual things, it doesn't matter, because it's still just a voice talking inside your head. In fact, the only way to get your distance from this voice is to stop differentiating what it's saying. Stop feeling that one thing it says is you and the other thing it says is not you. If you're hearing it talk, it's obviously not you. If you're hearing it talk, it's obviously not you.
This is very important. This is
why can't it be? Like, if I'm hearing it talk, why? Like, basically, like, fundamentally, the voice that you hear, the inner voice that you have, is a repository of all your past memories and all your conditioning, conscious, subconscious, whatever. And that is like an AI who's talking with you. So if you're hearing it talk, it's obviously not you. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's completely right.
It will tell you why. मतलब वो ये लॉजिक बना रहे हैं कि how can it be कि like there is a distance. There is a distance, and you have to figure out this distance between the object which is talking and the object which is listening. The object which is talking cannot be the object which is listening also. There is a distance in both of them, and that is why, and if you focus on the distance, then you'll see that is why they are saying that it's not you. And eventually in the book they'll say that there is a lower self and a higher self. Or lower self will come to that, but yeah.
Okay. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the one who notices that it's talking. You do hear it when it talks, don't you? Make it say hello right now. Okay, I did. Say it over and over a few times. Now shout it inside. Can you hear yourself saying hello inside? Of course you can. There is a voice talking, and there is you who notices the voice talking. The problem is that it's easy to notice the voice saying hello, but it's difficult to see that no matter what the voice says, it is still just a voice talking and you listening. There's absolutely nothing that the voice can say that is more you than anything else it says. I didn't understand.
It will explain.
Suppose you were looking at three objects: a flower pot, a photograph, and a book, and were then asked, which of these objects is you? You'd say none of them. I'm the one who's looking at what you are putting in front of me. It doesn't matter what you put in front of me. It's always going to be me looking at it. You see, it's an act of a subject perceiving various objects. It is also true of hearing the voice inside. It doesn't make any difference what it's saying. You are the one who is aware of it. As long as you think that one thing it's saying is you, but the other thing it's saying is not you, you have lost your objectivity. You may want to think of yourself as the part that says the nice things, but that's still the voice talking. You may like what it says, but it's not you. So ultimately, like what the author is trying to say, that the object is, that the voice that I'm hearing is not me.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes. तो वो बेसिकली ये बोल रहा है कि अगर मैं इस बुक को देख पाई, तो पूछता है ना कि suppose you were looking at three objects and were then asked which of these objects is you. You'd say none of them. I'm the one who is looking at it. तो तुम वो ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं हो, तुम वो जो देख रहा है, क्योंकि तुम खुद को नहीं देख पा रहे हो, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि तुम एग्जिस्ट नहीं कर रहे हो, तुम हो.
I'm more curious about like that line of thought ki, like where is it originating from and stuff like that.
You have to understand this distance first to understand that.
There's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it. So actually, okay, fine. If you don't understand this, you will try to figure out which of the many things the voice says is really you.
This we keep doing. कि अगर मैंने ये हमारा वो सेल्फ इमेज में क्या फिट होता है, वो हमें ऐसा हो जाता है कि मैं ऐसे थोड़ा सोच सकती हूँ कि ये सामने वाला मर जाए.
Yeah, that voice is judgmental for sure.
हाँ, तो वो वॉइस ही जज कर रही होगी, वो वॉइस ही सोचेगी भी कि ये मर क्यों जाता है, ठीक है, लेकिन फिर वो वॉइस भी जज करेगी और फिर वो बोलेगी कि नहीं मैं ये नहीं हूँ, मैं तो वो हूँ जो सोचता है कि नहीं सबको जीना चाहिए, सब अच्छे हैं, ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, जो भी किया. सो दैट इज व्हाट इट्स सेइंग कि तुम सब वो वॉइस अपने आप में उसका नेचर ये है कि वो एक पल में वो था नहीं, वो बैन एक पल में कुछ, एक पल में कुछ, एक पल में कुछ, एंड यू विल बी ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट कि तुम कौन सा वाला. बट देन दे आर सेइंग दैट यू आर नॉट, यू नो वन, यू आर नॉट एनी ऑफ देम, यू आर द पर्सन हु इज लिसनिंग टू इट.
People go through so many changes in the name of trying to find myself. They want to discover which of these voices, which of these aspects of the personality is who you really are. The simple answer is none of them. If you watch it objectively, you will come to see that much of what the voice says is meaningless. Most of the talking is just a waste of time and energy. Yeah, it's thoughts. Yeah.
हाँ, because
it can be a waste of time.
हाँ, मतलब रात में जो लोग सो नहीं पाते हैं, because of overthinking.
They're worried about something and constantly
हाँ,
replays in the mind.
and it's nothing. मतलब उसमें क्या चल रहा होता है कि उसमें ऐसा हो गया तो फिर उसमें ऐसा हो गया तो फिर ऐसा. कल पेपर, ठीक है, पेपर में ये आ गया तो मैं तो वो पढ़ा ही नहीं है, ओ मैं तो रिवाइज नहीं किया, ओ मैंने तो ये नहीं किया. तो ये क्या है, ये बस मतलब घूम रहे हो तुम अपने थॉट्स में, बस घूम रहे हो, एंड इट्स जस्ट अ वेस्ट ऑफ एनर्जी.
The truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces far outside your control, regardless of what your mind says about it. It's like sitting down at night and deciding whether you want the sun to come up in the morning. The bottom line is the sun will come up and the sun will go down. Billions of things are going on in this world. You can think about it all you want, but life is still going to keep on happening. But it also does not mean that you don't think about things.
What it's saying?
Like you don't plan and then like stuff like that, which are important.
That's true. वो बस basically इस पे फोकस डालना चाह रहे हैं कि ये जो uncontrolled thinking होती है, जो obsessive thinking होती है, उसमें बहुत तुम्हारा एक टाइम और एनर्जी वेस्ट हो रहा है, और वो चीज ऑब्जेक्टिवली देखने को वो बोल रहा है कि डोंट गेट लाइक इमर्स, एंड इफ यू आर गेटिंग इमर्स, बस एक पल के लिए थोड़ा जूम आउट करो और देखो कि क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे, एंड देन यू रियलाइज कि मतलब इट्स ऑफ नो यूज.
In fact, your thoughts have far less impact on this world than you would like to think. If you're willing to be objective and watch all your thoughts, you will see that the vast majority of them have no relevance. I would replace the word objective with detached.
हाँ, see, wait, detached is like a technical word, और वो objective ऐसे.
What do you mean by willing to be objective?
Objective मतलब you are not being biased. You're not being biased. तुम अपना bias उसमें नहीं घुसा रहे हो, या तुम अपनी feelings और emotions और thoughts लेके तुम उसको नहीं देख रहे हो.
But will it be ऐसा 100% होगा कि जो मैं conversation अपने दिमाग में कर रहा हूँ that will involve bias 100% of the time.
हाँ, but that's what. तो जैसे like for example, अगर हम अभी conversation कर रहे हैं और मैं बोलूँ कि now you have to look at it objectively what we are doing. So that means that you have to now disconnect from what is happening and see कि हाँ मतलब यहाँ पे एक conversation हो रही है जिसको हम record कर रहे हैं, जो हम डालना चाहते हैं, share करना चाहते हैं. So this is objective thinking. You're not like कि ये अच्छी चल रही है कि I hope इसमें, तो ये सब subjective हो गया मेरे point of view से.
Watching your thoughts is something like I've read in a lot of other books and like famous guys like जो Headspace का founder है और काफी लोग मतलब वो सब thoughts को as like सड़क पे ट्रैफिक या फिर स्काई में क्लाउड्स, उन सबको वो ऐसे रिलेट करते हैं. और जो मेडिटेशन प्रॉमिस करता है is the ability to watch these things, to be like not a part of the traffic and but stay at the side and watch the traffic. Thoughts will have no effect on anything or anybody except you. They are simply making you feel better or worse about what is going on, what has gone in the past or what might go on in the future. If you spend time hoping that it does not rain tomorrow, you are wasting your time. Your thoughts don't change the rain. You will someday come to see that there is no use for that incessant internal chatter. And there is no reason to constantly attempt to figure everything out. Eventually, you see that the real cause of problems is not life itself. But I think, I mean, ये evolve क्यों हुआ ना? ये अभी हमारे में है क्यों? Like I always try to think from an evolutionary biological perspective. That's how I like to think. So if you think about it, ये चीज है क्यों? Why do you and me overthink? And I know for sure that we overthink more than our previous generation. Our previous generation overthink more than their previous generation. क्यों? क्योंकि एक टाइम पे जो जिसने ओवरथिंक किया, जिसने ये सोचा कि यार ये वाले आज मेरे जहाँ पे मैं रह रहा हूँ, जो भी जंगल में,
उसके पास एज था.
हाँ, उसने सोचा कि ये उसके 70,000 थॉट्स में से एक आया हुआ कि भाई ये कल को ये जंगल में कोई शेर आके खा सकता है, या फिर बारिश हो सकती, सब everything can get destroyed, and then that actually happened. So that person prepared for it, and they survived and reproduced to have the next generation. So this ये overthinking का जो trait है, ये pass हुआ है generation to generation, and that's why it's a fact that the future generation will overthink lot more than what we do. So that's like an evolutionary biology perspective of like this shouldn't exist ना. मतलब अगर इतना ही प्रॉब्लम था तो जैसे कि हमारे टेल बोन्स टेल्स एलिमिनेट हो गए, बहुत सारे अदर ऑर्गन्स एलिमिनेट हो गए which we are not use anymore, then ये भी एलिमिनेट हो जाना चाहिए था. पर ये ट्रेट है which is required for survival.
Which is required for survival, but it is also causing us a lot of problems.
Yeah, that's.
मतलब जैसे इसका एडवांटेज है कि हाँ, मैं जब सॉल्यूशन सोचना चाह रही हूँ या मैं किसी ऐसे प्रॉब्लम में हूँ तो तुरंत मेरे दिमाग में ये सारी चीजें चल रही कि ये करना, ये करना, ये करना, हाँ ये करना, तो तब हेल्प करेगा. बट पहले क्या होता था कि पहले ज्यादा फिजिकल फियर्स होते थे कि ड्रॉट हो जाएगा, हम मर जाएंगे, या शेर आके खा लेगा, हम मर जाएंगे, है ना. तो उस समय हम हमेशा ये सोचते रहे तो हेल्प करेगा. बट अभी इतना फिजिकल फेयर नहीं है. तो अभी का जो है ना, ये जो कांस्टेंट जो चीजें चलती है विच इज बेसिकली एंशियस थॉट्स या ओवर प्रेपरेशन में हम चल रहे होते हैं कि भाई ये भी हो जाए, वो भी हो जाए. नोटिफिकेशन में एक तरीके से आजकल एक थ्रेड की तरह ही देखा जाता है कि कुछ भी मतलब.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think totally the notification from the office is considered as can be considered a threat if you are working in the wrong kind of office.
हाँ, so I think तो वो अभी प्रॉब्लम आई थिंक इस तरीके से भी जो तुमने बोला कि जनरेशन बाय जनरेशन ये और बढ़ रहा है, क्योंकि पता नहीं और बढ़ रहा है नहीं, लेकिन हमारे पास इतना टेंशन है कि इतना वो नहीं है अभी.
Yeah, it's a lot of wasted energy, that's for sure.
So
now this raises a serious question. If so much of what the voice says is meaningless and unnecessary, then why does it even exist? Which I think we already discussed, but let's hear.
इनका पर्सपेक्टिव थोड़ा सा.
The secret to answering this question lies in the understanding why it says what it says when it says. For example, in some cases, the mental voice talks for the same reason that a tea kettle whistles. That is, there is a buildup of energy inside that needs to be released. If you watch objectively, you will see that when there is a buildup of nervous, fearful, or desire-based energies inside, the voice becomes extremely active. This is easy to see when you are angry with someone and you feel like telling them off. Just watch how many times the inner voice tells them off before you even see them. When energy builds up inside, you want to do something about it. That voice talks because you're not okay inside, and talking releases energy. Okay. You will notice, however, that even when you're not particularly bothered by something, it still talks. When you're walking down the street, it says things like, look at that dog, it's a lab, hey, there's another dog in the car, he looks like a dog. Basically, the conversation is always there inside of it. It is actually narrating the world for you, or making sense out of the world. And apart, like what I think is that this inner voice is also really related to ego, our egos, because it's basically a survival mechanism, right? It's trying to align like yourself, other humans around you, and the nature for you to survive. But why do you need this? You already see what's happening outside. How does it help you to repeat it to yourself through the mental voice? I think it's about interpreting it. What it helps is interpreting the outside world for us.
Yes.
You should examine this very closely. With a simple glance, you instantly take in the tremendous detail of whatever you're looking at. If you see a tree, you effortlessly see the branches, the leaves, and the flowering buds. Why then do you have to verbalize what you have already seen?
This is very interesting. मतलब ये इन्होंने बहुत easily वो कर दिया है. With a simple glance, you instantly
Yeah.
take in tremendous detail
Yeah.
of whatever you are looking at. And ये जब इसमें उन्होंने बोला है तो मैंने और आगे एक एक्सरसाइज भी आएगी जिसमें वो बोलते हैं कि मतलब wherever you're sitting, and I think you should also try कि wherever you're sitting, ठीक है, just have a glance, कुछ लेबल नहीं करना, कुछ थॉट नहीं आना है, you just have a glance and you know everything. तो ये एक हमारे अंदर एक पावर है, लेकिन हमारा जो थॉट है वो इस चीज को लेबल करता है, डिस्क्राइब करता है, स्लो डाउन कर देता है हमें एक तरीके से. हम बहुत फास्ट हैं लेकिन हमें स्लो डाउन कर देता है. वो जो होता है ना कि मुझे पता होता है कि कोई मुझे घूर रहा है, आई एम नॉट लुकिंग एट देम, बट फॉर सम रीजन मुझे पता चल जाता है कि कोई घूर रहा है और फिर मैं उसे देख लेता हूँ. आई एम नॉट इवन लुकिंग एट देम और टुवर्ड्स दैट साइड आल्सो, बट स्टिल यू नो. एंड हाँ, तो I think it's crazy, and they will tell us what it is.
What you will see if you study this carefully is that the narration makes you feel more comfortable with the world around you. Exactly. Survival. Like backseat driving, it makes you feel as though things are more in your control. You actually feel like you have some relationship with them. A tree is no longer just a tree in the world that has nothing to do with you. It is a tree that you saw, labeled, and judged. So it's basically you're making sense or true. By verbalizing it mentally, you brought the initial direct experience of the world in the realm of your thoughts. There it becomes integrated with your other thoughts, such as those making up your value system and historical experiences. This is what I was talking about. That जो भी हम बाहर से देखते हैं हम उसको अपने थॉट्स मतलब इंटरप्रेट करते हैं तो वो थॉट्स बनते हैं, and then we have like a sort of a framework that gets developed like over the period of time, that this is good and this is bad. So we're just perceiving that experience, वो mesh के through आते हैं, and then we judge कि good है या bad.
और फिर वही हमारा वर्ल्ड व्यू बनाते हैं.
Exactly.
Like just imagine कि अगर ये सब थॉट्स नहीं होते, ठीक है, like for example let's take ocean world, ठीक है, वहाँ पे हम की ज़्यादा कुछ जानते नहीं, ठीक है. अब तुम स्कूबा डाइव कर रहे हो एंड वहाँ पे तुमने ये डिसाइड किया है कि तुम ज़्यादा सोचोगे नहीं, यू विल बी डायरेक्टली एक्सपीरियंसिंग व्हाट इट इज, एंड उस पूरा गैजेट वगैरह के साथ में और पूरा ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर के साथ में और इतना प्रेशर के साथ में उतना थॉट्स आते भी नहीं है, ठीक है. तो व्हेन यू आर अंडर लाइक इन द सी, इन द ओशन, तो उस समय what you experience is pretty much like a lot of direct experience. उधर उतना अगर तुम इसको कंट्रोल करके भी देखोगे कि तुम्हारी इनर वॉइस ना आए और तुम इतना उसको अपने परसेप्शन में ऐसे मिक्स करके मतलब थॉट्स बना के उसको अंदर नहीं डाल रहे हो, तो pretty much you will see कि you are really just like playing with the fishes, noticing around. And you just come out.
Flow state mode.
हाँ.
That's the flow state.
मतलब I don't know what is called, but it would be a very different experience to live like that normally.
Take a moment to examine the difference between your experience of the outside world and your interactions with the mental world. When you're just thinking, you're free to create whatever thoughts you want in your mind, and these thoughts are expressed through voice. You are very accustomed to settling into the playground of the mind and creating and manipulating thoughts. This inner world is an alternate environment that is under your control. The outside world, however, marches to its own laws. When the voice narrates the outside world to you, those thoughts are now side by side in parity with your other thoughts. All these thoughts intermix and actually influence your experience of the world around you. What you end up experiencing is really a personal presentation of the world according to you, rather than a stark, unfiltered experience of what is really out there. This mental manipulation of the outer experience allows you to buffer reality as it comes in. For example, there are mirrored things that you see at any given moment, yet you only narrate a few of them. The ones you discuss in your mind are the ones that matter to you. With this subtle form of pre-processing, you manage to control the experience of reality so that it all fits together inside your mind. Your consciousness is actually experiencing your mental model of reality, not reality itself. That's why, for the same situation that has happened in the outside world, two people can perceive it differently
Totally different.
and have different life experiences.
हाँ. And ये मतलब अगर तुम वैसे देखो तो you might not be, you're actually living in your head.
Yeah.
You're not like, तुम बहुत सारी चीजें मिस कर जाओगे in the actual world. Like I remember recently I had gone to a wedding और वहाँ पे मैंने स्टेज पे डांस किया. ठीक है, अब स्टेज पे जब मैं डांस कर रही थी तो मेरा पूरा फोकस था मेरे डांस पे और सामने जो ब्राइड एंड ग्रूम बैठे थे उन पे. बाकी किसी पे मेरा फोकस नहीं था. ठीक है, बाकी पूरा हॉल में क्या चल रहा है वो उधर में एकदम ब्लाइंडेड थी. ठीक है, और इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मेरे बॉडी या मेरा माइंड अवेयर नहीं है. अगर कहीं पे मतलब कुछ होता, प्लेट वेट गिरती, कुछ होता तो मुझे पता होता है एग्जैक्टली मतलब क्या हुआ है, कहाँ हुआ है. आई विल डायरेक्टली लुक एट इट. Although at that moment I have completely blinded everything out. So this is selective thing कि मैं हूँ एक 500 लोगों से भरे हुए हॉल में, लेकिन मुझे सिर्फ 2 लोग दिख रहे हैं जिन पे मैं फोकस करना चाह रही हूँ. और जब मैं डांस कर रही थी तो अपेरेंटली बाद में वीडियो में मैंने देखा कि एक लड़की मेरे आगे से गई थी और मुझे नहीं पता था कि वो लड़की मेरे आगे से गई. मैंने जस्ट आगे से गई थी स्टेज पर. So that only shows कि I'm not at all experiencing this place, this physical existence. I'm just like जिस पे मुझे फोकस करना है मैं वही देख रही हूँ. And while it helps in certain situations कि मतलब फुल फोकस में मैं उसी चीज पे लगी हुई हूँ, मेरा ध्यान इधर उधर नहीं भटक रहा है, लेकिन the problem with this is I'm not in control of this right now. मेरा मतलब ऑटोमेटिक हो रहा है और इट्स लाइक मुझे फोटो खींचनी है बट कैमरा का फोकस मेरे हाथ में ही नहीं है. वो अपने आप कुछ ऑटो फोकस में कुछ चीज पे फोकस कर रहा है. एंड दैट इज लाइक काइंड ऑफ स्कैरी sometimes.
Yeah. You have to watch this very carefully because you do it all the time. You are walking outside in the winter, you start to shiver, and the voice says, "It's cold." Now, did that help you? You already knew it was cold. You are the one who's experiencing the cold. Why is it telling you this? You recreate the world within your mind because you cannot control your mind, whereas you can control your mind, whereas you cannot control the world. This is why you mentally talk about it. If you can't get the world If you can't get the world the way you like it, you internally verbalize it, judge it, complain about it, and then decide what to do about it. This makes you feel more empowered. When your body experiences cold, there may be nothing you can do to affect the temperature. But when your mind verbalizes it's cold, you can say, we are almost home, just a few more minutes. Now you feel better. In the thought world, there's always something you can do to control the experience.
This is so true.
This is true. This is
और वो वैसा ना all is well वाला
Hmm.
कि कुछ भी हो रहा है तुम दिमाग बोलो
It's a way to
comfort.
manage the reality. Basically, you recreate the outside world inside yourself and then you live in your mind. That's what you said. What if you decide not to do this? If you decide not to narrate and instead just consciously observe the world, you will feel more open and exposed. This is because you really don't know what will happen next, and your mind is accustomed to helping you. It does this by processing your current experiences in a way that makes them fit with your views of the past and visions of the future. All of this helps to create a semblance of control. If your mind does not do this, you simply become too uncomfortable. Reality is just too real for most of us. So we temper it with the mind.
और ये I think most of us have experienced this during COVID when like उस समय इतना कुछ predictable नहीं था. So that is why so many people were not able to sleep and like in the initial time. तो कुछ भी वो comfort उस समय अगर तुमने देखा होगा कुछ भी हो रहा था तो सब ठीक हो जाएगा and that is why वो God में belief kind of help करता है कि हाँ सब ठीक हो जाएगा सब कुछ तो sense होगा कुछ हमें नहीं समझ में आ रहा है कुछ उनको समझ में so this is the inner voice that is helping us even try to make sense of something which is like totally not predictable and it's so true. It is helpful but it's like double-edged sword.
You will come to see that the mind talks all the time because you gave it a job to do. You use it as a protection mechanism, a form of defense. Ultimately, it makes you feel more secure. As long as that's what you want, you'll be forced to constantly use your mind to buffer yourself from life instead of living it. This world is unfolding and really has very little to do with you or your thoughts. It was here long before you came and it will be here long after you leave. In the name of attempting to hold the world together, you are really just trying to hold yourself together.
This is so true.
True personal growth is about transcending the part of you that is not okay and needs protection. This is done by constantly remembering that you are the one inside that notices the voice talking. That is the way out. The one inside who is aware that you are always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. Sorry, what? The one inside
Who is aware?
that you're always talking to yourself about yourself is always silent. Oh, interesting. It is a doorway to the depth of your being. To be aware that you are watching the voice talk is to stand on the threshold of a fantastic inner journey. If used properly, the same mental voice that has been a source of worry, distraction, and general neurosis can become the launching ground for true spiritual awakening. Come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know one of the greatest mysteries of creation.
This is the incentive to read the next chapter.
Okay, awesome. But that's where the chapter ends, and I think, can you conclude it for everybody?
I think what it is trying to explain in this whole chapter is basically to be aware that this chatter is going on in your mind, and that it is kind of helping you process things. But if you stay in that mental world of yours, you will miss out this living experience that you've got. And I don't know whether you have another chance to it or not, but I think that is where meditation comes in. It helps you, uh, it makes you aware from time to time that there is this chatter going on. And when you become aware of this thing, just zoom out and just look at it कि हाँ ये हो रहा है, and then just like do your thing. Don't engage in that inner voice. और जब रात के 2 बजे नींद नहीं आ रही होती है, क्योंकि दिमाग में बहुत थॉट्स चल रहे होते हैं, उस समय just pause, take a deep breath and just zoom out. अपने आप को zoom out करो उस engagement से जो तुम्हारे दिमाग के अंदर चल रहा है तुम्हारे ही साथ, and you have to zoom out and see कि exactly हो क्या रहा है, and then just accept कि हाँ ये चीज मेरे दिमाग में हो रही है, बाहर कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, बाहर सब सो रहे हैं, and मैं चाहे कुछ भी सोच लूं, कल किसी ने नहीं देखा, कल कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you like the conversation and the interpretation. Do check out other series we have on Perspective, and take care. Bye.